Hello, hello, hello. Hold on one second. Greetings all. You know what I'm doing? I'm still putting stuff together, believe it or not, because this is what God does to me. Right before I'm ready to go on, I was showing Dennis. I said, I got all this stuff now that I didn't have. He couldn't have talked to me an hour ago. So I'm in the middle. So hello, everybody in the chat. Hello, everybody that's watching. Hello, everyone that will be coming on after. I know it's at noon and not everybody can make it, but I know a lot of you watch at night. I read your comments. Please know I do that. I love interacting with everyone. To me, it's a way of connecting in a world that's trying to disconnect all of us. So from me to you, welcome. If this is your first time, a lot of you wrote to me, said you're going to be watching for your first time off the cuff today. We call it OTC, not over the counter, off the cuff. Some people call it off the chain. You pick, but just welcome. Okay, so before we get started, obviously, top of the day, you guys know this. The top of the day is this. Now, let me tell you about this t-shirt. Joyandcountry.com, which is our fundraiser, actually kind of like our main fundraiser. Jenna, my daughter, put together that website, joyandcountry.com, so that we would be able to do the gatherings. And now, not only gatherings now, we've done 11 of them in 2 years, but also moving forward with the Impact Center, hopefully putting them in all the major metropolitan areas around the country. Yes, we have a big vision. Yes, we do. So when I saw that she put this together, which is Luke 8:16, it's called Be a Light for Those Who Have Lost Their Burn. I'm doing this for those that have lost their burn. So I put this on, and I can't even tell you what it did to me. If I keep talking about it, I'll start to cry. So many people today talk about losing your burn. So many people have just shut down. And this t-shirt reminds us, those of us that are still moving forward, those of us that are still going, even if we're hurting, even if we're concerned, but we're still here, we're still in the fight. Be a light for those who lost their will to burn. Luke 8:16. Anyway, I could preach on that, but let me just say this. This is a V-neck. It comes in crew neck. It also comes in navy and red. And Jenna said to let you know that the T is in the description below, and a link in the description below. And it's also on Delora's closet. I just got this yesterday. She just brought it to me, and I had to wear it today. She said there's also a lot of new items on the website, and they're located in the new tab on joyandcountry.com. And the first time, if this is the first time you're purchasing anything, 2 things. Her name is Jenna. It's free shipping. I call her Jenazon. I actually stole that from my other daughter. Don't tell her. But we call her Jenazon. And if you're the first time buying something, welcome 10 is the code. You get 10% off. But US free shipping on everything. So the price you see, $25, $30, whatever it is, that's it. And shipping is on Jenna's on. Okay. I will go over that again at the end. And but now Friday is a double header this Friday. OTC, yes. I can't say what it is yet. God's got me down 5 roads. I think I know what it's going to be. If it goes this way, I'm going to be very, very excited about it, but I'm not sure yet. So just kind of hang on. You'll find out Thursday, tomorrow night. But Friday night, Fab 4, we're going to be discussing the solar eclipse as well. The guys have a lot to say. You know, I said a lot about it. The guys have a lot to say about it, which is up next Monday. So it's quickly coming upon us. So that will be Fab 4 on Rumble, not here. The only thing I do on here is OTC. Okay. It's on Rumble. My channel on Rumble is Delora OBrien, The Gathering, and Fab 4 at 6 p.m. Eastern on Rumble. And then Sunday night, our online church service, The Gathering at Solomon's Porch, is also on Rumble, and that's at 6 p.m. Eastern. All the links are in the description as well. So go down there. You can follow me everywhere. Okay. I can't, Renee, I want to put that up, what you just said about your laser cut maplewood earrings. She said, I got my laser cut maplewood earrings from Joy Country. I love them. My hair clip is wonderful. Ordered. Awesome. I can't go down there. We'll never get to this. This topic, the North Pole, someone made a comment and they said, I got a feeling she's not going to talk about Santa. Ding, ding, ding. You are right. Do my little dance. Do a little dance. Remember that song? Anyway, why bother with the North Pole? Because I'm kind of like a forerunner. I did Antarctica when I first did this. Almost 3 years ago now I started. Can you believe that long? And I was pushed into doing this by a dear man that I haven't had touch with much anymore. I don't know if you remember Prime Minister. I don't know where he is. I haven't been in touch with him, but he invited me on his show when he found out that I worked with Prophet Kim Clement. So that pushed me into this. So here I am almost 3 years later, and I did Antarctica way back when. Now everybody's doing Antarctica. So where do I go? North. Not really north. Center. I go to the center. What's interesting is the North Pole, when I was growing up, was called the Arctic Circle. The South Pole was called the Antarctic Circle. Now, those that believe in flat Earth, I told you, I'm not sure where I live. I know I don't live on a round ball. I'm just not sure about the rest. But I do lean. I lean, but I could like speak about both, but common sense pushes me one way more than the other. So flat earthers say that the North Pole is located in the center of the map, and that's magnetic north. Okay. Makes sense to me. Okay. Everything points north. Why would it point up? If you're in Australia, where does it point? It makes sense. Okay. So that's magnetic north. There's two North Poles, so you know. There's the one they call the North Pole that they profess is just a sheet of ice. And if you go on Google Earth, and I did this, I saw it a couple of times, and you put in North Pole, even if you put in Street View, you just get all blue. It's a piece of ice, and that's what they say. And there's nothing else up there. You look at a map, and there's nothing there. So what is the difference? Okay, let's just start at the beginning. The geographic North Pole is a mass of ice with no land at all, unlike its southern counterpart. That means the ice shrinks, expands. The North Pole is the point where land travelers aim when they strive to reach the North Pole. Okay, they go toward this. And apparently you can't go toward it anymore on ship unless you're allowed. And then I'll get into that later on. But there's also the magnetic North Pole. And that is the North Pole that planes are not allowed to fly over. Now, when you go from New York, say, to Asia, okay, I don't understand on a globe map why you would go over the North Pole. On a flat Earth map, I understand the North Pole's in the center, and you go from New York and you go to Asia. I get that. But so many people that I know that have been from New York to China say they flew over the North Pole and it doesn't go ding, ding, ding in their head. And I don't understand that. But that's another video. So what they do is they fly over the North Pole, but what they're flying over is the geographic North Pole, not the magnetic North Pole. Okay. The one I'm discussing right now, between the actual North Pole that people fly over and the magnetic pole, this is what I'm talking about, okay? Because everyone will tell you the North Pole is a vast sheet of ice, and if you fly over it, that's all you see is a vast sheet of ice. Now, I'm going to go back to one of my favorite friends, and if you've been listening to me at any length of time, you know this man and I are tight, Admiral Byrd. I play this every time. Admiral Byrd is the man that got me going down the Antarctic rabbit hole. He also is the man that got me going down the North Pole rabbit hole. So one more time, this time, listen to what he says about the North Pole.
I must say that Admiral Byrd, our guest tonight, is not only our greatest living explorer, but he's been an inspiration to countless Americans. Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. And not up around the North Pole, because it's getting crowded up there now, because they find out it's really usable, not only to live in, but militarily. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America.
Okay, so we don't need to hear anymore because that's going down the Antarctica road. But the North Pole, it's getting crowded. What crowded? Was it the ice has crowded you out? To live, he said, and military reasons and resources. Well, where is that? How could it be getting crowded at the North Pole? It's just very intriguing to me. So let me show you, hold on a second, let me get this. Let me show you the map of the North Pole today, okay? Here it is. This is what you will see. This is a globe. Let me get in there myself. This is, if they're looking at a globe, okay, this is the top. You see right on the top, it says the North Pole. And then, so if it was a ball, all right, it's right on the top up here. There is no land, okay? There's Greenland and there's Russia and there's United States. There's all these, Asia. There's all these lands around it, but there's nothing. And it looks like a little space, but you have to understand that could be 1,000 miles or something. That's how big it is. So it's ice, basically, and that's what they expect you to believe. Now, if it's ice, why did they create something called dew lines? Now, I went over this. In when I was doing it on Antarctica. Now, this is an old dew line map. Okay, if you see the line way up on the top, it says Arctic Circle. You see how it says Arctic Circle. This is an older map. Now, what flat earthers say is that Arctic Circle is smack dab in the middle of our map. Okay, and that's the North Pole, and that's magnetic north. Now, this is an old map. Those dew lines are defense lines. And they said at the beginning of this, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that they were, that line on the top of Canada was put there by Canada and the United States so that no one could come in from the top and get into Canada through the Arctic Circle. Now, if there's no one there, I don't know what they expect to come there, but they had a barrier. I mean, it was electronic. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars at that time putting up these dew lines. And for me, it looks like they're trying to stop people. You see aircraft, ships from crossing over that last line. They've got two others, but that last line of defense from anyone going that way. Okay. All right. But let me show you now. I think it's the 55th world latitude. You can't cross over. But this is the newest one. This is called, I'm going to read this to you, the North Warning System. It's a joint between United States and Canada early warning radar system for the atmospheric air defense of North America. It provides surveillance. This is written by them. It's not what I'm saying. It provides surveillance of airspace from potential incursions or attacks from across North America's polar region. It displays the distant early warning line system that was in the late 1980s. That's what I just showed you. The waters are known to be the roughest on Earth. They're actually, hold on a second. They are actually, can be up to 10 stories high. So let me show you this. Hold on, I want to make sure I don't miss anything. This is the new one, okay? This is the new North Warning System. So what they did, they expanded it. The do is on the left. I think they got rid of it. Do you see on the left that do? Again, the dome, trying to break through with, I've never seen anything like it, right in plain sight. That's the old badge. People that work there wear the badge. And the North Warning System is the new one between Canada and the United States. And it's that pink land up at the top. And there's radar everywhere. There's, on the yellow is control radar, and then the lighter is the short range radar, and then the darker is the long range radar. I mean, what is going on? This is the most bizarre thing to me. So, 1900s, okay? All explorers were racing to go there. The maps began to pop up. So what would happen is, so you understand where these maps come from. Explorers, and I just learned this actually, what explorers did is they needed money. And if a country did not raise enough money and there was no reason for them to want to do this, they would take, yes, Alamar, the citizens paid for this. You're absolutely correct. They did pay for that. And they pay for what I'm about to tell you. The country, if they think it's worth it, will take a portion of the person's taxes. But they would also go to map makers because map making was very big then. Remember before GPS, in fact, Dennis still loves to use it. He'll pull out a map. He just loves maps. So when I was traveling and my kids were little, we pulled out a map and we would mark the map on a piece of paper. And he would say, okay, where do I get off? I'd have to pull the map out. Remember those days? If you're over like 40, you remember it, I'm sure. So there were map makers and everyone used maps. Ships, people and cars and everybody, it was all about map making, and the map makers was a big business. So what they would do is they would raise money for these explorers to go to these areas, and they would let them know, we went there, there's a land here, there's land there, we go forward, how many nautical miles, we went around the land, it's this wide. And this is how they would get their information about how to make maps. Okay. When they went there, here, I'm going to show you this. A mountain was discovered in the middle of the North Pole. Okay. And they kind of discovered this mountain by accident. And what happened was the jet stream, which is the flow of air around the earth, okay, goes this way, comes up, around, very powerful. It's the way the air flows. The jet stream would go over the magnetic North Pole, or they just knew it as the North Pole at that time. and it would hit something. And it was so big and so powerful, whatever it was they hit, that the jet stream would split around this object. So the jet stream, powerful jet stream, you look it up, goes like this, and then it hits this, whatever, this thing, and it would split, and then it would come back. Now, for something to split the jet stream, it has to be pretty humongous. So here we go. Mercator map. Oh, I want to show you something. I forgot about this. This is one of the things that is no longer there, apparently. I didn't look up what it means. They called it Crockerland. Not cracker. Crocker, like crockpot. Crockerland, the theoretical location of Crockerland. There it is. This is one of the maps that was drawn. That's all they did was go there. They didn't investigate any other things. They put little, little things that showed them there could be something here. That's it on the right. Okay. So that led them to continue to the right, and they hit the situation with the jet stream. Okay. They felt the jet stream coming at them. And when they looked, they discovered a mountain at the North Pole. And this is, like I said to you, so big that it disrupted the jet stream. Now, this is the Mercator map. Okay, Mr. Mercator. If you look, and what you can do is either take a picture of this, a screenshot, and then blow it up on your computer or phone or whatever, or you can look up Rupes nigra, Rupes nigra. If you look really close, you'll see in the middle of this circle with the 4 rivers coming out of it, in that center circle is a black object. That is called the Black Rock, or Rupes nigra. Okay? That is, according to them traveling around it, the base is 33 miles wide. And they could not even estimate how high it was, because it literally went right through clouds and they couldn't get out, and it was just this rock. That's why they named it. It was a black rock. Now, if you go on, if you want to look into this, you look up Rupes nigra, and then you look up videos of Rupes nigra. I don't know if you can find them. You really have to dig for this stuff. But this is what it looks like. I didn't want to play the whole video. But from a vantage point that someone said, hold on a second. Someone said the vantage point of a airplane or a satellite, and I didn't get it all. So you're going to have to find out yourself this, okay? There's way too much on this stuff. That point, that little black point you see right there, is the top of Black Rock, Rupes nigra. Okay. Now, what you see swirling there is the jet stream. This is so huge and is so magnetic that it's almost like a vortex swirling. And you can find that. You can find this, the vortex. You look up Rupes nigra vortex, maybe even try TikTok. You'll see some of this stuff. It is absolutely fascinating. So here is Black Rock. Okay. It really is in the middle of a vortex because of its how humongous it is. Russians have footage of this. Now, I don't know if that's part of the Russian footage. I mean, where I go to get this stuff is just hole after hole after hole. But I found a piece of the Russian footage and I could not download it. There was nothing. I tried to do it with my camera, my phone. I couldn't get it. So you can go find it yourself. Now, again, I took these coordinates. I went onto Google Earth and there's nothing there. It's just ice, according to Google Earth. Okay. That mountain is one huge magnetic north. Okay, now let me show you something else. Here's the Mercator map again. All right, you take a look at it. Black Rock in the middle, Rupes Nigra. Coming out of it are 4 bodies of land. All right. You can go in, you can translate this if you want. You can spend hours on this stuff. I don't have the time for that. But Mercator said that the explorers who went there came back and said it was so high, it was so big. We found we tried to go around it. We found land. We went down rivers that connected it. So they found these 4 rivers. Okay. Now, the land that Rupes Nigra or Black Rock is on, that's land on a piece of land surrounded by water. Okay. We don't know how big the land is, but there's land all around it. I find this highly unique. Genesis 2:10. Now, as I'm reading this to you, look at the map. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden. And from thence it was parted and came into 4 rivers. The name of the first is Pison, that is which encompasses the whole land of Havilah, where there is gold. Now, 4 rivers came out of Eden. Okay. Look, I say this at the beginning and I didn't say it. I am speculating, guys. I use biblical context. I'm led. I'm spirit led. I take truth. I'm not a sensationalist, but the Bible never says the Garden of Eden was destroyed, that God destroyed it all. Nothing like that. Could that be Eden? Other people that have gone to the North Pole said it's lush. I'll play a tape for you at the end. It's going to blow your mind. And beautiful. And gorgeous foliage. Could it still exist? Yeah. So I don't know. Speculation? Truth? Maybe. Remember, according to the flat earth map, the magnetic North Pole is at the center. Okay, so let me take this down. So I'm sure you can get a screenshot of that. Go find it yourself, whatever. Just look up Mercator map. Matthew 4:8. Okay, why do I think this could be true? High makes Mount Everest, according to the map makers, look like a little bump that you go over on a road. That's how ginormous it is. 33-mile base. Okay. Matthew 4:8. Again, the devil took him, Jesus, up on an exceedingly high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world. How would that be possible on any other mountain that's just a mile high? How would that be possible at all if the earth is round? All the kingdoms of the world was a figure of speech. It was metaphorical, according to those who believe in this. That's what they're saying. It's metaphorical. I don't believe it's metaphorical. I believe he took them up to Black Rock, showed him all the kingdoms of the earth. Okay. You don't believe the Bible's literate? I don't know what to tell you. I do, so we can go on from there. Now I'm going to read you out of the book of Enoch, chapter 18. I saw the paths of the angels, and I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. Maybe that's why King James chucked it, took out Enoch. They had a whole, understand how things get taken out of the Bible. That's man takes them out of the Bible, not God. Okay? So a group of knowledgeable theologians, with the collars, get together and they say, this hits too close to home, out. We no longer condone Enoch to be part of the Bible. The minute they do that to me, I go run. I ran the book of Enoch. Okay. So it says, let me continue. The earth, the firmament of heaven above. I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains, interesting, 7 mountains, of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east, 3 towards the south. And as far as those towards the east was of colored stone, and 1 of pearl, and 1 of jacinth, and those toward the south of red stone. But in the middle, 1 reached to heaven, like the throne of God. And the summit of the throne was a sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire. And beyond these mountains is a region, which is the great earth, where the heaven was completed. Chapter 25. From thence I proceeded out of the middle of the earth, and beheld a happy and fertile spot, which contained branches continually sprouting from the trees which were planted in it. There I saw a holy mountain, and underneath it water on the eastern side, which flowed towards the south. I also saw on the east another mountain, another river, a mountain as high as that between them. Russian scientists are saying now that magnetic north is moving toward Russia. Go look it up. Can't make this stuff up. I don't know if it's true. I don't know what that means. They're seeing aurora borealis lights from the sky in Siberia, and they're seeing them under the ground in Russia. Lights coming up like the aurora borealis, okay? But I'll tell you what. Don't take my word for it, okay? Let's hear from the Prime Minister of Canada. Now, Prime Minister's like our president. Prime Minister of Canada, a then young Justin Trudeau. His father, Pierre Trudeau, was a former prime minister. They are like the equivalent of the Bush family here, okay? Father was president, then comes along George W. The father, Pierre, was prime minister. Along comes Justin. Let me play for you a younger Justin Trudeau talking about the North Pole.
My first official trip. I was going with my father and my grandpa Sinclair up to the North Pole. It was a very glamorous destination. I figured I was finally going to be let into the reason for the existence of this high security Arctic base. It was exactly right. We drove slowly through and past the buildings on a special top secret mission. And that's when I understood just how powerful and wonderful my father was.
Doesn't that make you just want to go, this beautiful place I just realized how wonderful and powerful my father was. What are they hiding? What are they hiding? Let's talk about the Black Rock Mountain. The mountain is Black Rock. Who's Black Rock? Why did they name probably the most powerful and wealthy company in the entire world? BlackRock. They literally control country economies around the world. They manage $10 trillion of assets. And there's only just a little over double that in currency and circulation around the world. They own all of the major banks. So who's behind BlackRock? Well, you could look it up and you'll see Fink, and you'll say, well, he started it and this and this. No, if you really dive into this, BlackRock and all the rest of them, I could go down, Vanguard, State Street. I mean, I could just keep going. There's about 5 major ones. BlackRock's the biggest. They own each other. That's how they keep each other in control. They all own a piece of each other. And I say this all the time, and I got it from George Carlin, the comedian. It's a big club, and we ain't in it. So who really, what do they, I could never list everything BlackRock owns. But here's a little bit of what it is. Now, just take a look at that. Let's go through some of these. Well, you see Fox News down at the right side. Those of people that watched it that still think Fox News is legitimate. Fox News, just so you know, Fox News, this is off the topic, but I'm going off the cuff here. Fox News is the network that actually put fake 46 into office. They're the ones that called Arizona before the AP did, which they never do that, but that's what did it. So blame Fox News. You see CNN, MSNBC, Verizon, Exxon, Pfizer, Merck. What else we got here? Uber, Chevron, Facebook, PayPal, Microsoft, Amazon, and P&G. P&G, if you look in the middle, you see P&G there. They pretty much own everybody that falls under that, okay? But I'm giving you probably all I'm going to give you, but I'm going to end with this. And this is the wildest thing. And this is just, now I don't have this down yet. I got this 5 minutes before I came on. Watch this. Paramount. Now, I just read you out of Enoch. That's exactly what I read you out of Enoch. Go back and listen. That it could very well be BlackRock. 22 floating, falling stars around this. This is the logo of Paramount Pictures since 1912. They call this photo the Majestic Mountain. And there are 22 stars falling to earth from the mountain. 22 is a power number. In numerology, it means from creation to eternity. In the Bible, the meaning in scripture, 22 is a number of disorder. In the occult, 22 is the number assigned to an unborn soul. So let me stop there. You saw that. Now I'm going to explain to you how interesting all of this is. Those 22 stars surrounding that mountain, Book of Enoch, chapter 7 and 8, you can read it. It says 22 fallen angels landed on Mount Hermon. Could that be the place that Satan took Jesus? Could the spiritual Mount Hermon be Black Rock? It says it's in Syria today, but that's the natural Mount Hermon. What happened was those 22 stars, I believe, represent the 22 fallen angels that Enoch speaks about in the book of Enoch. They landed to corrupt humanity, to make a hybrid of humans and angels, the Nephilim. That's what we're dealing with today. So angels, why would angels, stars? That doesn't make sense. Oh, it does. Revelation 12:4. And his tail, Satan's tail, drew the third of the stars of heaven. A third of the angels fell. The scripture calls those fallen angels stars. He drew a third of the stars of heavens, the angels, and he, God, did cast them to earth. Now, you say, well, what? I don't know, Mount Hermon, the Black Rock. Look, as I said, the natural and the spiritual to me do not have to be the same. Okay? It points to Mount Hermon for the fallen angels. That's in Syria. It doesn't say what mountain. It says exceedingly high mountain Satan brought him to. This is what I know after all I've done. The North Pole, center of our world, and the South Pole surrounding our world, Antarctica, has more to reveal than probably anything else we can talk about. We always get caught up and we get angry. Hey, look, I'm there too. Talk about, well, this political thing, that political thing, and it's it's happened in my town, my school, blah, blah, blah. It's all important. It really is. But man, the poles, they call them poles of this world, is where the secrets of everything we're dealing with today all goes back, just like Black Rock, that Rupus Nigra, right in the center of the world, magnetic, Black Rock, magnetic company, all of them come unto that. It's the same thing, natural and spiritual, very close. So just know that everything I'm on here, you can Google. I would not Google, actually. You won't get much. Try brave.com. I did a lot of that. You can, but then you just got to go in and keep following the path, and you will find out exactly where this is. Okay, I am ready for questions. I've got about 10 minutes, and Betty Herb, let's see which, wrong one. Okay, Betty. Okay, if this is the Garden of Eden, could it be that no one can go there because of God protecting it? I don't know. Could be. I don't know if it's, I never saw it said it had to be protected. God closed it up. It's, you know what I'm saying, Betty? But anything could be possible. Sure. Let me see. Let me go back. I'm missing some. Let me go right after Betty. Oh yeah. Okay. Minus a muskrat. Yep. Genesis 3:24. So he drove out the man. He placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims of flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. Very interesting. Yeah. Ding, ding, ding. Betty, there you go. Maybe that is what's going on. But I still say they're hiding something, and maybe they are hiding that which is the truth of proving the God is real. Okay, let's see. Will I do a show on the Philadelphia experiment? I could, just not in my wheelhouse right now. I've got an incredible show on who owns the food we eat. Incredible, but it's not. It's not there yet. I don't know. I get led. Anything that can be shaken will be shaken. Prayers for Taiwan 7.2 earthquake. Amen, Island Girl. Amen. Let me keep going. Sean, have you seen? Oh, Sean, I forgot to say, let's get these parties started. Forgot. You're supposed to remind me of that. Have you seen the show Lost? A lot of, yes, what you're talking about with magnetism, time travel, baked into the storyline. Yeah, I won't want to read the rest, but yes, it actually was one of my favorite shows. And then they did the new one. Very interesting. Yeah, Sean. Yep. Okay, why are there no polar bears in Antarctica or penguins in the Arctic? I don't know. Isn't that interesting? There are none. There's no life. There's no life up there. It's because that's where the magnetic is, right there in the center. Very interesting. I'd like to find out the land, though. Like the land, is there, Phalia? I don't know if the land, there's land there. But from what ships that have gone there to the geographical North Pole, there's nothing. I don't know. I really don't know. Which book of Enoch do you represent? Julia, I got the one that has all 3 books and it has Jasper in it as well. That's the one I got. And I like it. They're all the same. It's not like anybody went in and damaged it. They just eliminated it. No damage to it. Maybe the Garden of Eden is closed to evil ones. They can get in and keep. Yeah. They can't get in and they're keeping God's people away. Yeah, Stephen Larkin. That's what Betty said as well. I never thought of that. And I think it's an excellent statement. I think that's, the problem is, I don't know if the Garden of Eden even is closed to evil ones, or maybe they closed it so no one would find it ever and see that there are angels there in there. You never know. We'll find out someday. It'll all be revealed. The devil does want us to know about the reality of the Garden of Eden, right? Could very well be, Jabez. I don't know. I think the devil doesn't want unbelievers to know that it exists. Renee, did you say that there is gold was found in the North Pole? If so, then they are hiding the gold from us. That's in Scripture. The people and keeping it for themselves, making us slaves to them. Absolutely. That is in Scripture, Renee. Go back and listen and you'll get it again. Yeah, exactly. And it says that there is gold. Absolutely. And I'm sure Dennis heard that and he's like gone down a rabbit hole himself now. Oh, thank you. Thank you for your compliments. Thank you so much. Do you think we will find out more when Mr. T comes back? I'll tell you, Patricia, and nobody likes to hear this, but you asked me the question, okay? You didn't ask anybody else on here. You asked me. So I'm going to give you an answer that those in my family that are awake hate to hear my answer. And this is it. No, I don't think. I think we're going to find out a lot more. But I think what's going to happen is there's going to be roads that we're going to walk down that he's going to open a door to, like he did with the 2 meds that are now beginning to find out how good they are that he brought up 4 years ago. Now we're walking down that road saying, wait a minute, this cure that, this cures that. You understand? I think when he comes back, there will be things that will absolutely have to be revealed to prove what he's been saying so that people will respect him. But there's so much that I don't think in our lifetime, we will ever be able to find it all out. It's my opinion. Where did you find info regarding auroras in the ground? Just go to brave.com, go to duckduckgo.com, and just put that in. Lights from coming from the ground, and then the people, the country. I don't want to say it too many times. Let's see. Yes, Jabez. Bird flew into the North Pole, saw land, green, and mammoths. Let me pull this up. I have this, and let me say that. Okay, let me get rid of that. This is from Admiral Byrd. During his Arctic flight of 1,700 miles beyond the North Pole, he reported by radio that he saw below him not ice and snow, but land areas consisting of mountains, forests, green vegetation, lakes, and rivers, and in the underbrush saw a strange animal resembling the mammoth. And thank you. I had that. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah. Wonder if we're getting close to pastors not going to cemetery. I'm sorry, that made me laugh. Curious Tadpole. She's saying to pastors not going to seminary. But what's funny is I call seminary cemetery too. Okay, so let me read the question. Wondering if we're getting close to pastors not going to cemetery and studying truth, not leaving things out. I sure hope so. I'm going to do a little dance to that one. Oh, man, that was awesome. Thanks for the laugh, my friend. Okay, some scholars think the Garden of Eden is south of the Golan Heights, but the name of the cities have changed in biblical times. Maybe they're changed for a reason. April, there's always a reason. There's a reason that they're pulling everything down. And all the statues and the buildings. And when I start talking about Tartaria, you'll get it. You'll get it. Curious Tadpole. I'm putting that up again. Wonder if we're getting close to pastors not going to cemetery. I'm sorry. Tony Beavers. I have a friend that says the book of Enoch is not inspired. What do you feel about that? Well, Tony, let me tell you. That's the knee-jerk response. You ask a pastor, oh, that wasn't inspired by God. That wasn't, you get all these answers that have gone down from their father and their grandfather and all these things. If you read, Tony, and you do it and then give it to your friend. If you read about the councils. Dennis, what's one of the councils, honey? You're watching this. Can you remember one of the councils? Text me. If you read about the councils that decide what books should be in the Bible and what books shouldn't, you will find that a group of men with collars on that spoke like this, spoke in Latin, those people, completely religious, only wanted what worked for them to be in the Bible, took it out. It exposed too much. Tony. You can find that online. The Council of, I don't know if the Council of Trent, read about the Catholic councils and the councils that King James had and all of this stuff. You're going to find out how they decided. Well, right now, New International Version, I can't even go near the NIV translation. Why? They're taking stuff out now. They're removing things. So, no, Dennis said it's the Council of Nicaea. Nicaea. The Council of Nicaea. Thanks, honey. Yeah, so that's what you tell her. It isn't a God thing, Tony. It's a man thing. That's what it is. So why did they say the North Pole was getting crowded decades ago? That's my question. That's my question. Isn't that interesting? Crowded, ice, loaded with ice. That's the Geographic North Pole. It's the one you fly over. Yeah, I use the one online, Debbie, that says $15.99 ahead of it. There might be others, but that's the one I started using. Okay, couple more. Yeah, Nancy. Nancy knits and crochets. That's awesome. Didn't God put angels with flaming swords guarding the entrance to Eden? Yes. That's what somebody else said earlier. Maybe you came on later. That's what I'm saying. Could very well be the whole thing there. They don't want us to see. Menacing muskrat. Do you think the two poles are connected together? I don't know. At some place they might be, but from what I understand, the North Pole is the center, what they call the South Pole, or the Arctic or Antarctic Circle. They called it until about 30 years ago. The Arctic Circle, they called the North Pole until about 30 years ago. I don't see it, but then again, I don't see, who knows? Very well, they could be connected together. I've heard only the first book of Enoch was good. The other two false. Have you heard that? No, I haven't. To me, you can't break things up like that. That's like, me telling someone, and she asked me how I feel about, a friend asked me how I feel about someone. And I say, oh, I really love her. But a lot of people say, I hate her. And then everything is edited out, but I hate her. I don't go by that. I have to read it myself. I don't listen to anyone. Mountaineer Mama, do you know that it was against the law to print the King James Version Bible without the Apocrypha, and after King James died, they removed it? I don't know that. I don't, but it's an interesting to look up. I guess you're telling me that that's true. Never, I have to say, never read the Apocrypha. That was, growing up Catholic. I really wasn't a Catholic. I was an atheist. My parents had no clue about any of this, got saved later in life. So I don't know. I'm going to ask Dennis, though, when we get off. That sounds pretty interesting. Okay, Lois, do not want to go down the road of eschatology. She said, will that be where the New Jerusalem will be placed, as in the book of Revelation? That's a can of worms so big that you have no idea how big that can of worms is. And I'm not an eschatologist. I'm not a theologian. Okay? So you know that. I'm just me. Yeah, I'm a pastor. Yeah, I'm prophetic. Yeah. All these things. Here I teach things. Yeah, all of that. But I'm human. I kind of push all that stuff aside and just be human with you. Okay? I don't know. Okay, maybe God preserved the animals in the Garden of Eden, and those are the ones he told Noah to put on the ark. Again, bless you. Could be. All of these things are very logical and common sense. I don't know. I wish I did. Have you heard of the story of Adam and Eve yet? So much in that book. Not as where I've gotten so far. No. Remember, though, Enoch is in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. So I don't know why they decided. He's the only man that I believe. There's people argue with me about this, that was someone else, but the other person came down. Enoch was taken up by God and never came back. Okay, let's try this. A couple more. Curious tadpole, same as the base of the mountain. Noah's Ark is being controlled by Turkey, so it's preserved up there. Like you said, they don't want the unbelievers to see. Amen. That's true. Yeah. Any thoughts? Not really, Denise. Any thoughts on North America being the Holy Land? So I'm hearing more and more people posing this possibility. Could it be a possibility? Yeah, but I'm not buying that so much. Let's see. Island Girl, how can we do a super chat here? I don't even know what that is. If you want to email me, let me know. Okay, I'm gonna go down at the bottom. Keep your old Bibles. I wish I had one. Our past users came. Does it make sense to switch all the way back before they started fixing the Bible? Curious Tadpole, I don't know. It would have to go way back. Hold on. The book of Enoch, wasn't that mentioned in the book of Jude? If so, book. Yeah, I believe it's Jude. It's a couple places. Jabez. It was mentioned. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to end on this one, guys. Sorry. Michael, do you think it's possible comets are actually openings in the firmament caused by God casting out fallen angels? The openings are releasing water. Feasible theory. Wow, Michael. You guys are like really critical thinkers. I can't say, how can I say no to that? Feasible theory. Absolutely. Look, people believe in gravity and it's not been proven. That's a theory. The theory of gravity. Germs. The germ theory. It's not proven. You know, and I don't want to go down that road, but you know what that people say? People that really study this stuff out. They say what you're seeing under the microscope is what is created by toxins and what the body does. That it's reacting to toxins. No such thing as germs. And I could see why they would want us to think they're germs, because then we can't blame them. Because they're brought it all in. They created it all. Oh boy, I could go down that road. Let me not do that. Anyway, I love you guys. And thank you for joining me. And just to please remind you, help us with the gathering, help us with Impact Center. Go to joincountry.com. Be a light for those who lost their will to burn. I am in love with this t-shirt. I love it. I love it. Because my heart are for those that lost hope and lost their desire and their will to burn. I feel so bad. I can't even tell you. I get emails about this stuff and it breaks my heart. But it also comes in navy and red and a crew neck. It's in Delora's closet. It's in the link below. Free shipping all the time at joincountry.com. We call it Jenna's On because Jenna created that for us to be able to do the gatherings. First time orders, welcome 10 code, get 10% off. I love you guys, more than you know. Let me just read. A wonderful day, everyone. Thanks, Queen Esther. Please do an episode of Q&A. Eve, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Guys, next Monday is going to be a live watch party for the solar eclipse. I'm going to do nothing. I'm going to take Q&A. It's going to be Q&A. I may lunch. I'm going to be hanging. So just let everybody know. Let's have a blast. Stephen, I am going to end on that question. How would you recommend waking up our friends and family that don't want to wake up? Love them. Love them. Let your life speak. I'm going over to joincountry.com and getting me a blue one of these. I'll see you over there. Love you guys. Love you. And can you marry us, David? Yes, I can marry you. I'm already married. Oh, you mean, can you marry us? Dennis and I marry people. Yeah, but you got to come to Florida if you want us to marry you. Anyway, I'll see you over at joincountry.com. Love you. See you Friday. Huge show, double header in the morning and at night with Fab 4. And remember, guys, always go in the power of God. Have a beautiful, beautiful